What's up, math scholars and math haters? This is Mr. W. Today we're going to tackle question 35 in the 5th grade math questions that North Carolina released this past school year. The question tells us that Mr. Wilson bought a bag of birdseed and put half of it in his bird feeder, and he split the other half equally among his 4 pet birds. And our job is to figure out how much of the bag that each pet bird got. So to do a question like this and do it really well, you need to know how to translate problems and also how to divide fractions and whole numbers. Those are the two big skills that this question is going to test us on. So if I'm going to start with each, then I'm going to tell myself, all right, each along with every and per tells me I need to multiply. And specifically what I'm going to multiply is the number of birds times what fraction of the bag that each of them got equals the total birdseed that Mr. Wilson gave to his pet birds. So at this point, I want to fill in some information. How many birds are there? Well, the question says there are 4 birds. We're being asked to find out how much of the bag that each pet bird got. So for my fraction spot, that's going to be a blank, because I don't know it yet. And then that equals, for the total amount of birdseed that Mr. Wilson gave away, what I've bracketed just now says that he split the other half of the bag equally. So I know that 4 times some number equals 1/2. And at this point, I'm going to rearrange this number sentence using fact families, and I'm going to say that if I know that 4 times some number I don't know equals 1/2, then 1/2 divided by 4 equals that number that I don't know. And so now I can go ahead and treat this like a regular old dividing a fraction by a whole number problem. Whenever I see a problem like this, my instinct is to say this isn't 4 anymore, it's 4 ones or 4 wholes. And then my next instinct is I need to do keep, change, flip. I'll scoot this up a little bit, where I keep 1/2 the same, I change dividing to multiplying, and I flip 4 ones into 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and do exactly that. I keep 1/2, I change divide to multiply, and I flip 4 ones into 1/4. And now that I have a multiplying fractions problem, I can just multiply across my numerators. 1 times 1 equals 1, 2 times 4 equals 8. So this gets me 1/8. And I have an answer that matches 1/8, so I'll go ahead and circle it for now, but I do want to check this answer. I want to take 1/8 and plug it back into this quick equation that we started with in order to make sure that it gets us the answer that we're looking for. So I'll go ahead and do exactly that. I will test 4 times 1/8 and see if it gives me 1/2. Now I'm going to go ahead and say that this isn't 4 anymore. It's 4 ones or 4 wholes. And now this multiplication thing is a bit easier than if I started by dividing, because all I have to do is multiply my numerators. 4 times 1 is 4, and my denominators, 1 times 8 is 8. Now I look for the number that can go into both 4 and 8 so that I can simplify this. That number actually is 4, so I'm going to divide by 4, divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, 8 divided by 4 is 2. I was looking to get 1/2. Since I got 1/2 by plugging 1/8 in for my blank, I know that 1/8 is the correct answer, and I know that my answer is choice A. Now, just to reiterate, I know 1/2 was one of our answer choices, but this work that I did over here was just to confirm that 1/8 was in fact my answer. My answer is 1/8, not 1/2. I was testing 1/8.